Gemini, Didici here with your October 2017 forecast. Take a look over here. Look at this. This is the 5th house of your horoscope. Jupiter's still there. Sun and Mercury have just entered into this really lovely romantic area of your chart. So we can see straight away that this is going to be predominantly the area of activity for you throughout October. I've also got the animator on. This is going to show us what's happening every half day, so I can swing this around, especially to what I think is important in terms of the full moon, which I'll get to in a moment. But here, just quickly, a few station stopovers by the moon and some of the other planets before I get there. This is the Moon-Neptune combination around the 3rd of October, as you can see here, in your 10th house of profession. So there's going to be a little confusion there. If there's idealism, you need to anchor that and ground it. And I don't particularly like that we've had this opposition from Venus and Mars, this passionate combo down here opposite this Neptune in your 10th house. That can make you feel somewhat ineffectual. It can, in fact, paralyze you at times, because the drive to action is thwarted, opposed by this idealistic planet. And here we see the moon. Even though these planets have passed that opposition, the moon here, as you can see, around the 3rd and 4th, will carry that energy again here, as you can see, the opposition of the moon. So it's dragged that Neptunian energy again, so you're going to get a double dose of that energy there. Be a little bit careful in that interval up until the 5th. And then I wanted to get to this full moon. There it is, around the 6th in your 11th house of relationships and friendships. So this is pretty potent. And this, I believe, is when you may start to see the full impact of these romantic and also creative elements. This 5th house has to do with romance, creativity, connecting with your inner child, and connecting with your own children if you happen to have children yourself. Look at this again. Get to come back to this passionate combo of Venus and Mars in your 4th house of domestics, property. That type of, it's also peace of mind. So this excites you. It's in the foreground along with Saturn. This is a problem because you've got that right angle from Venus that is impacting on Saturn, and it moves into a tighter sort of angle around there, the 21st, 22nd. There it is on the 8th. So that can present problems in your relationships, even though I've said the weighting of these 3 planets gives you that romantic desire. We see here the square. That's the right angle from Venus and Mars to Saturn. Very challenging and very frustrating. During this period, you may want to spend a little bit of time alone. The other thing I want to show you is this new moon. And also keep your eye down here, because just at this time as well, have a look at Jupiter's just snuck into the sign of Scorpio, your 6th house. So work is going to take on a new meaning over the next 12 months. This is a 12-month cycle of Jupiter, and this expands your desire in the workplace, health, vitality. It also has to do with how much money you're spending. Jupiter being the biggest planet, also ruling your 7th house, could present you some problems there in expenditure, either of yours or your partner's. Let me bring this moon back around, and this 4th house stuff is going to be triggered when the moon makes contact with Mars. This is called Chandramangala Yoga. There it is. Let's go back there a moment. Just around the 17th and 18th. You can see that these planets can stimulate a rather intense response. So take care in dealing with your communications with loved ones. Again, you see that Mars-Saturn square. It'll bring the moon into square. That can depress. It can impress. It can inflate and inflame. The one I'm looking out for here in this fifth house, as I suspected, is the new moon that takes place just after the 19th and 20th. Pardon me, it takes place here, again in the fifth house, so you can see why I've focused predominantly on this area of your horoscope being the key factor, and then moving into the sixth here after the 20th in the last few days of the month, with Mercury as well also sneaking into this sixth house. The shift is from this fifth house to the sixth house. Love, romance, to work, the environment you work in, the co-workers you work with, your debts, working through your debts, a lot of communication there, and you're going to be imaginative with the Moon-Mercury combo. These are nicely positioned, especially with that Neptune that was a problem earlier in the month, showing a nice, imaginative, creative way of doing business and dealing with those debts at this time. So I hope that's helped. Have a look here. The Sun does move out on the 23rd, I think it is, or the 24th. There it is, the 24th. So just as the Moon left that position, you're still going to be left with these three planets as the month finishes. And Mars also just makes its way into that fifth house as well. So yes, you shifted your attention away from all the relationship stuff, only to find that when Mars comes back in to this fifth house, that increases your desire and your capacity to meet new people. And for some of you, this could be the start of a new relationship. Well, that's all from me for now. It's just skimming the surface. Hope to see you here next month. Don't forget in the meantime to check out astrology.com.au, where we have a more detailed analysis of the month in question, along with the daily readings and your yearly focus as well. Take care. Nice of you to join me. Bye-bye.